Others say there are 2 to 3 things that would drive this conversation. One, how much of an impact do I have on the EBITDA of the global organization? What is my contribution?
Okay.
So that has to be measured in terms of the EBITDA. What percentage have I been able to improve? Have I been able to create? So that is definitely one thing.
Okay.
Second, nowadays we see, when I say nowadays, in the last decade, it is about how many global positions are being created in the GCC in India.
Right.
That's a beautiful way of measuring the impact as well. The way we should look at compliance and how to maximize GCC's compliance is by not just proactive compliance,
Right.
but by having proactive compliances built in the workflows.
Yeah.
That is how things are moving right now. Right. So within the workflow, so compliance is not another layer sitting on top of our workflows.
Okay.
All these whiles it used to be that way.
Yeah.
Now no
A
longer.
separate department.
Exactly. Everything used to be separate, right?
Yes.
But now no longer that way. Today compliance integrates with the business. I think in some way I will say that Coimbatore is already a destination. We can see a lot of Australian accounting work that happens here.
Okay.
We can see a lot of US accounting work that happens here, right? And it's just a matter of time when other countries are going to move here.
Okay.
So we are already there. We are not there yet in terms of volumes when you compare us to tier 1 and the metro cities. But as a tier 2 city, that has been something that we are very proud of.
Right.
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Dexian Talks, the GCC Series, Coimbatore, where we bring you leaders who are shaping the future of the Global Capability Center and the business transformation. Today we're delighted to have with us Mr. Akash Mahagaonkar, the Director at Relativity Management Solutions and a seasoned business, finance and shared services leader. Joining Mr. Akash would be Fredricks John, the GCC Advisor at Dexian India. Looking forward to the conversation.
Akash, welcome to this edition of Dexian Talks. We are honored to have you here as one of our guests.
Stunning to be here, Frederick. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's dive straight into our topic, which is GCCs.
Absolutely.
And for you, finance shared services GCCs. When they first emerged, the focus was largely on efficiency and, of course, cost arbitration.
Yes.
How has the role of finance GCCs evolved in the past couple of decades?
When India opened up to all of these, so now called the Global Capability Centers, we started with the basic function of being a back office for the world.
Yes.
Then we took one more step to be the shared services of the world. So we moved from being just a back office to a little bit more shared services. Then, I think somewhere in the 2000s, we moved from being a shared services to business capability centers. Now
Right.
they, were rebranded as Center of Excellence,
Yes.
COEs, like how we are, well aware of. And from there, today we are at this interesting adage called the Global Capability Centers. That has been India's journey to serving the world.
Right.
And making an extraordinary impact to
Right.
everyone involved.
Correct. So, what separates the traditional finance shared services industry from a strategic finance GCC?
There are a lot of things that moves between both of these ends of the world, if we have to call it as. One used to function as a back office, or rather I would say as a cost center.
Yes.
Today, GCCs are no longer called as cost centers.
Really?
They are strategic value creators.
Yes.
There is where we have moved. So we have moved in a little more simpler sense. Let me tell you that we have moved from being a processor to a value creator.
Absolutely.
That's the transition.
Yes, rightly said, because we are no longer being seen as a service provider, but part of the principal organization.
Absolutely, and I so love what you said, right? We are now an integrated part of the the parent organization.
Yes.
Typically, GCCs have multiple countries, multiple offices, multiple factories, plants, sites, and the one that is contributing in India is not an other extra entity anymore.
It's not.
It is a part of the global entity,
We
the
love
parent
to
organization.
call it as an extension of the headquarters.
Absolutely,
Right?
very true.
Yeah. How are global organizations redefining the expectations they have from finance GCCs?
Oh, beautiful question, and it's so valuable, particularly in the last 10 years, because while we say act local, the thinking has always been global.
Yes.
Right. So an example that I would like to share is one of our clients who is a large multinational is now running its tax operations for Australia, New Zealand, Japan from India.
Wow.
Right. So earlier this office used to only handle invoice processes. That is all. So in a very short sense, what has happened is finance GCCs have stopped being the processors.
Yeah.
They have stopped being the back office,
Yes.
and they have started contributing to the P&L.
Absolutely.
Right. That's the journey of finance GCCs, and that's the expectation that global multinational leaders have from their finance GCCs in India.
Right. And you have helped set up so many such GCCs in India.
Yes.
Looking back, what are the foundational elements that determine whether a shared services GCC succeeds or fails?
Oh, that's a very, very, very deep question. Ultimately, it boils down to just one thing. Where is the leadership?
Right.
Where do they sit? Is this an office that is micromanaged from the global headquarters, or is it an office of strategic importance, given its autonomy and given its own decision-making capabilities?
Okay.
And the leaders are present in India at the site.
Wow.
This has been a game changer.
Okay.
Initially when India was opening up, it was all managed from there, and that brought out a lot of cultural nuances. India is a country. It's not one single country. It is a country of 26 smaller countries.
Yes.
So there are a lot of cultural nuances, and they cannot be managed from multiple work zones, time zones, from multiple time zones, from multiple countries.
Yeah.
They have to be managed here locally, and that's the leader and the leadership that wins.
Right.
Right? Faster decision making, quicker innovation, very, very important for GCCs, because GCCs is not about what process is there, making that happen here. No. Processes have to be redefined.
Yeah.
And only then the real value can be maximized.
Correct.
For which innovation has to happen at the site. And this cannot happen if leadership isn't here.
No.
That's what I have seen.
Right.
Yes. Many GCCs who they didn't fail, but they didn't win either.
Yeah.
But what changed their fate was when they had a site leader, when they had CXOs here in India.
Absolutely. You touched upon very important points during the answer. For example, you talked about how we have moved away from being delivering to requirements to managing outcomes.
Yes.
And then how culture plays a role in the success of GCC.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And like we talked about earlier also, for years we've been measured as cost centers, and we've been judged upon cost arbitrage. Now going forward, what new metrics should GCC leaders focus on?
Oh, such a profound question. In fact, that's some of the things that today is written in PDFs or what we call as ebooks, right? About how to set up GCCs in India, and this is what you should measure, so on and so forth.
You mean the playbooks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is right. I would rather say there are 2 to 3 things that would drive this conversation. One, how much of an impact do I have on the EBITDA of the global organization? What is my contribution?
Okay.
So that has to be measured in terms of the EBITDA. What percentage have I been able to improve? Have I been able to create? So that is definitely one thing.
Okay.
Second, nowadays we see, when I say nowadays, in the last decade, it is about how many global positions are being created in the GCC in India.
Right.
That's a beautiful way of measuring the impact as well. Do you have a global CIO from that GCC in India?
Right.
Do you have global positions that are being created? Right, because which means that it is not just restricted to the location in India, but the impact, the work that they do goes across the length and breadth of the world.
Right.
That's the second. And of course, third, what is the shareholder value that we ultimately add?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
These are the 3 very important metrics, I believe, that we should be measuring now. Right. Earlier, it used to be number of invoices processed, number of outputs per hour, and rupees saved, dollars saved, whatever. But no, they don't matter anymore.
How do you impact the outcome?
Yes.
Of the global organization?
Absolutely. And people don't care how many people we have. Right, that's not also the number. What's the size of my GCC? It doesn't matter whether our size is 2,000 or 20,000. What matters is how much am I able to impact on EBITDA.
Okay.
That's
even
what
nano
matters.
GCCs create impact these days.
Huge impact, right? We know GCCs which just have, as you rightly said, just 200, 300 employees, but the kind of value that they are adding to the whole business across the globe is humongous.
Right.
Is humongous.
Right. You talked about Indian leadership impacting global organizations. We do have several hundred Indians that are in that scene right now, which is a very
Tell me
good
a place where we don't.
So that is one of the ways that GCCs can contribute directly to the business growth that you just spoke about.
Yes.
And you also touched upon the profitability when you said EBITDA and what impact are we creating there. So this moves away from us simply supporting day-to-day operations and impacting their global outcomes.
100%.
Right.
100%.
So-
Take a look at a few examples, right? Earlier, one of the things that used to come to India as a part of a large global automobile manufacturer was design of a part. Yeah, that was what India was doing for them.
Right.
15 years ago. Today, India is designing vehicles for their markets in Africa, for their markets in South America, for their markets in Europe, for their markets in Australia and New Zealand.
Right.
The whole vehicle is being designed from here.
Right.
right? And also manufactured from here and shipped from here. All of these three things are happening.
Right.
And that's the transition. As you rightly mentioned, we are no longer looking at the smaller impact.
Correct.
The scale is much, much bigger
Right.
and much, much better.
So if I'm not wrong, this is the organization that started in Bangalore but came to Coimbatore and said we'll never leave Coimbatore, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. We're talking about finance GCCs, right? So what governance mechanism should organizations establish as they introduce AI into the finance operations now?
I always refer to AI as, a known angel is better than an unknown. Sorry, did I
Known
get that
devil.
wrong? Yeah, a known devil
Yeah.
is better than an unknown angel.
Yeah.
Yes, and AI is the new hotshot girlfriend around.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yes, AI is so confident. It is so confident with its responses that even if it gives you a wrong response, you cannot make it out that it is a wrong response.
Yeah.
Because it is extraordinarily confident with its responses. It is designed and trained that way. Not to be extraordinarily lying about the responses, but to be very confident.
Okay.
Yeah, as against human beings, right? Human beings, you can make out with the body language, with the eyes going here and there, with the facial expressions that no, something is wrong. He's not confident, but not with AI. So there is this word that we say, trust but verify.
Right.
That's the central operating principle when AI is there. Trust but verify. And how can we do this in our own organizations? First is when we build, GCCs have to have their own intellectual property, which means they will not only have to rely on others' AI models, they will have to build their own. Right. And when they build their own, AI models should have governing council. That's a very, very important aspect. So the governing council signs off before the AI model moves from development phase to the production phase before it goes live. That is very, very important. So have AI model governing council. The second thing that we should do is we should definitely have a human in the loop. See, we generate a lot of reports. AI generates a lot of reports for us. AI interprets a lot of data for us. AI should prepare the draft. Humans should review it. This is ultra important.
Okay.
AI is, as I told, when I started talking about AI, she's a naughty girlfriend, right? We need to know where we should be careful, and forgive me if I'm using that word, but that's a great way of looking at it.
Okay. So it's actually amazing to note that all of the leaders that I've spoken to so far, somehow, somewhere they bring in integrity, trust, culture, when we're talking about technology and AI.
Yes.
Right? And it's amazing to see that all of you leaders are aligned in that way. And while talking about governance, compliance also becomes increasingly complex.
Very
these
much
days.
so. Very much.
How can GCCs build the compliance into their operating model rather than treating it as an afterthought?
So, earlier, if you had asked me this question, let's say 10, 12 years ago, I would have said, hey, the answer is in proactive compliance than reactive compliance.
Right.
But I can't tell that anymore because I've already told that 12 years ago. So now, the way we should look at compliance and how to maximize GCC's compliance is by not just proactive compliance, but by having proactive compliances built in the workflows. That is how things are moving right now. So within the workflow, so compliance is not another layer sitting on top of our workflows. All these whiles it used to be that way. Now no longer.
Separate department.
Exactly. Everything used to be separate, right? But now no longer that way. Today, compliance integrates with the business. Compliance integrates with the operations.
Right.
Right? We can see that in finance. We can see that in HR. We can see that in service delivery. We can see that in engineering. Take a side. Compliance is built inside that particular function.
Awesome.
And that is how compliance is going to be sustainable. Because it running parallel or creating another layer, it's not working anymore because of the dynamism of compliance.
Right.
By the time we wake up, there is a compliance change.
Yes.
Yes.
See, you've been in this compliance and regulatory space for over 2 or 3 decades now.
Yes, 2 decades.
Yeah. How do mature organizations, how do they balance automation with regulatory compliance?
The steps that they take to do this is, we call it automated compliance audits. That's one extraordinary way of how this happens. When I say automated compliance audits, what I mean is compliance are built into the workflows, which is they are running every day within the business. At the same time, every fortnight or a month, there is an automated compliance audit that goes around finding anomalies in the data.
Okay.
Right? So this catches outliers, and those outliers are reviewed by the compliance team. And this system, sitting on top of compliance in the workflows, creates a place where risk is minimal and compliance is at its best.
Okay. Great. And I think, and that is how you have been successful over the past 2 decades.
Absolutely.
And when I look at much of the GCC conversations, they focus on technology rules.
Yes.
But you've been in the finance, payroll, compliance, regulatory, and business service functions.
Yes.
And you've been successful as well.
Yes.
What are the opportunities you see for GCCs to set up in this space in Coimbatore?
You want me to talk about my own competition, but nevertheless, I think it is important, right? Because the world is that way.
Yeah.
When we talk about Coimbatore, we have extraordinary influx of talent. Look at the institutions around Coimbatore. You want raw talent, you get raw talent. You want trained talent, you get trained talent. Both of this is possible in Coimbatore. Second, as the Manchester of South India, right? We all know Coimbatore to be the Manchester of South India.
Yes.
My dad moved here in the 1970s. He fell in love with the city so much that he decided to settle here, and we are all born and brought up here. Everything is here. While being the Manchester of South India, a great aspect of engineering talent and manufacturing talent comes out.
Yeah.
Right. So today we employ people, but they are not necessarily people who don't have a background. Their parents, their families have run successful entrepreneurial ventures.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
They come from that kind of a zeal, and they want to show it out in their work.
Right.
And that makes Coimbatore very special.
Right.
Yes, there is a lot of thirst to move up the ladder.
Right.
There is a lot of ownership and accountability. All of these we see with Coimbatore.
Wow.
And ultimately in my industry, that is in finance, payroll, compliance, there are 2 things that are very important. Penchant for numbers. Don't ask about Coimbatorians. Our penchant for numbers, right? As much as we love the Kongu food, we have great numerical ability.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And second is the ability to be truthful, which again is there in every blood and ghost of Coimbatore.
Yeah, amazing how you come back to the softer side of the talent, right?
Yes.
This does not come out in any of the surveys that get published.
It doesn't.
But these are the things that matter to GCCs, what you are saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we see on surveys is a lot about stories,
Yeah.
right? Datas. But when we talk then we talk about the real stuff, like how you mentioned, how leaders talk about trust, how leaders talk about integrity.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that is what matters to a business.
Right.
You can set up a GCC, but if you have 24-25% attrition, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? The cost of replacing your talent is going to be humongous.
Huge. Yes.
Yeah. You can set up a GCC, but what if you don't have people who have a high integrity level?
And having been
Where it is required. Absolutely.
Well said, yes. So, do you think that Coimbatore can become a destination for finance, payroll, services, operations kind of GCCs?
I think in some way, I will say that Coimbatore is already a destination. We can see a lot of Australian accounting work that happens here. We can see a lot of US accounting work that happens here, right? And it's just a matter of time when other countries are going to move here.
Okay.
So we are already there. We are not there yet in terms of volumes when you compare us to tier 1 and the metro cities. But as a tier 2 city, that has been something that we are very proud of.
Right.
Yes.
And would this be in alignment with the emergence of Coimbatore as a technology hub as well?
Very much so. Very much so.
Okay.
I think Coimbatore is emerging. See, we have Bangalore, which is the technology hub of the technology GCCs. Invariably, Bangalore is the choice. Hyderabad is for all life science, pharma. Bombay is for all BFSI. Pune is for manufacturing and stuff like that.
Right.
Chennai is a mix of everything, right?
Correct.
I believe Coimbatore has that potential to be a mix of everything.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Awesome. So, in order to, realize that potential, what are the skill sets or what are the capabilities that become critical for finance professionals who want to work within these GCCs?
Beautiful question. Given today's scenario, I will say understanding macroeconomics is a very, very important quality that will be expected from a finance professional. See, I'll tell you in a very simple language. Somebody is fighting in some part of the world.
Yeah.
Our dosa and idli prices are impacted.
Yeah, rightly
Yes.
said.
So that is what is going to be the world moving forward. Something will happen somewhere. How it is going to impact us should be understood by finance professionals so that they can act fast. So this is something which is very important. Second, everybody can talk data. Very few people can talk the story out of that data. So storytelling from data also becomes extraordinarily important. Today you punch in a few numbers, you upload a few sheets, you run a few algorithms. All these systems can throw data at us. But interpreting that in the context of my organization, in the context of my business environment, becomes the storytelling part for a finance professional.
Right.
That is also very, very important. And third, I have used this analogy at my office. You have to start working like Transformers. You know what happens in the Transformers movie, right?
Yeah.
You are there in the center and your power becomes 100x because of the mission that you are in. Today, AI is that mission for us. We cannot ignore AI. We need to learn to make our capabilities 100x using AI as an enabler.
Right.
So that is a skill. It doesn't come to everyone.
Correct.
And AI cannot be your assistant. Right? That's not what we want. We don't want AI to be your executive assistant. We want you to integrate with AI.
Okay.
And that is the skill that, of course, we'll learn and we'll come with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that's something that finance professionals definitely need to know. These are the three skills I believe. Everything else is either taught in college or in our corporate training programs.
Right. and if we have these skills and people work towards them, then they will create an impact on the EBITDA of the global organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that is where the world is heading.
Okay. So you have worked across finance, compliance, shared services, and business growth. What do you think will be the defining characteristic of successful GCCs in the next 10 years?
Defining characters of a successful GCCs in the next 10 years. I will take 30 seconds to think about it because I know this is the ultimate question.
You guessed it right.
I believe the ultimate is how much of value we are able to send out from this GCC. And when I say value, it is measured differently for different organizations. For a finance organization, value can be how much of working capital optimization have I done as a GCC. For a payroll organization,
Yeah.
how much have I, reduced in terms of the processing time per payslip. It could be in seconds,
Yes.
but still that adds value, and that's the impact that we're trying to create. For compliance, it is how much have I de-risked the organization globally, not just on an India perspective, but from globally. This is the value that we should be net exporters of.
Okay.
And I believe that is going to be the defining moment. How much value am I going to push back into the world?
Correct.
Because what I push back to my parent organization is what is going to be pushed back into the world.
Right.
That's on a macroeconomic level. There is another pendulum, right? Like how pendulum goes from left to right. On the other side, we should also look at how much of local impact are we creating.
Yes.
Yes, it's not just about employing people and giving them salaries. That's not what an industry should be about. Why there are certain industrial houses that are spoken in lengths and breadths is not because of the employment that they made. It's because of the changes that they enabled in the lives of the people they employed. So I think when we talk about global, I would say value. When we talk about local, I would say the impact on the local
Communities.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Again.
Without this, we are just taking all the resources and not doing anything. Right? The resources are traveling worldwide.
Correct.
They are driving profits, which is fine. That is how the world works. But at the same time, the local community should benefit. There has to be sustainable giving back.
Awesome.
That is what I would say.
Right. So, this is Akash for you, ladies and gentlemen, who says that the questions were profound, but his answers were so profoundly insightful. From creating global value to local impact, Akash has given us a lot of beautiful insights on finance, payroll, and ops GCC setting up and growing in Coimbatore. Thank you so much for your time, Akash. We really enjoyed this discussion. And as a token of appreciation, I'd like to share this hamper with you.
Oh, thank you so much. It was wonderful having this conversation with all of you. Yes, and that's so beautiful.
So that was the end of the conversation with Mr. Akash and Fredricks John. The conversation highlighted the growing importance of finance, compliance, shared services within the GCC ecosystem. Akash's insights were very valuable, and it was mostly on operational excellence, business transformation, automation, and strategic finance. For all the organizations that are planning to build the GCCs out there, this conversation is a must-watch. For all the viewers out there, thank you so much for watching us on Dexian Talks, the GCC Series Coimbatore. I will see you in another episode with another interesting guest. Thank you.
We are Dexian, in the business for good.